Thank you, and really a pleasure to be here. It's the first time I stand in front of this audience, and I hope not the last time, and I look forward to a deeper interaction between us and the detergent industry, something I will talk a little bit more on here today. So what I want to do is to give you a little bit of a whirlwind tour to our thinking about laundry, washing machines, and dishwashers, and the consumer perspective and the business perspective on that. But first of all, what I wanted to say is just a few words about Electrolux. I'm sure all of you know us through either the Electrolux brand or AEG or Zanussi or one of our other brands. But it's maybe worth just to spend 2 minutes on who we are and what we're trying to do. We are a 12 billion euro company, active in 150 markets, 58,000 people, and last year we sold about 40 million products worthwhile. We're as a consequence of that, number 2 in the world in major appliances, and also in both consumer and professional appliances. I don't want to bore you with the details, but I think it's important also to say that we are a truly global, and as we like to say, glocal company. I'll get to that in a moment, with the broadest coverage in our industry of the world, which makes us connecting to consumers in really truly all different parts of the world and learning from them. Also in Europe, we have very wide coverage, about a 17% market share in Europe as a whole, and growing. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes on, I don't want to spend too much on let's say the bragging side, but what I do want to talk about is some of the areas of expertise that we as a company are constantly trying to leverage, and I think will be relevant in a relationship with the detergent manufacturing industry. As I indicated, we are a truly global company. We have the widest global coverage, but we also have a very long history all around the world. We've been in Latin America since the 1920s and 30s. Same with Australia. All over the world, we have an extremely long presence with a very deep knowledge of local cultures and habits that we're leveraging as we try to develop products that are fitting consumer needs. We're doing that with the base in a very strong Scandinavian heritage. And what does that mean? It means that we have a very natural care for the environment and care for humanity and our people and our consumers. It's not something that we spend a lot of time pounding the drum on, but we're in the middle of a project right now from 2008 to 2018 to cut our CO2 footprint by 50% through manufacturing, through the use phase of our products, and that's something that we are extremely committed to doing. Another thing that many people don't know about us Electrolux is that we are world leaders when it comes to professional kitchen and laundry appliances as well. And there, through the harsh and tough demands that we're facing from professional customers, we're taking those learnings and applying more and more to consumer appliances, whether it's kitchen appliances or laundry or dish appliances. And that's something that we are really using both as a, let's say, technology barrier or frontier, and also, of course, as a proof point around our capabilities. Another aspect that we spend enormous amount of effort and resources on is truly understanding the needs of the end consumers. And we spend countless hours in doing consumer research, as I know you are doing as well. But of course, we're coming from a slightly different perspective. And we have a rule in Electrolux that says that we are not going to introduce a new product to the marketplace unless it's preferred in a rigorous test by at least 70% of consumers versus the best appliance on the market today. It's a very rigorous standard that we're applying. So what does that mean then when it comes to dishwashers and washing machines? We're selling about 3 million dishwashers a year. We're number 2 or 3, depending on how you count globally. The big issue with dishwashers, as I'm sure you will agree and share, is that it's an enormous opportunity to increase the penetration globally of automatic dishwashers. As an example here, just using a number, if every household in Europe used a dishwasher instead of washing by hand, over 990 billion liters of water would be saved. It's an enormous opportunity in terms of sustainability for us together. When it comes to laundry products, we're also number 2 globally, about 7 million products per year. And here we're truly a leader in terms of sustainability. We are the first to introduce front-load washing machines, 9 kilo to be specific, with A++ minus, and minus 10%, minus 20%, minus 30% performance in Europe. We are currently the first manufacturer to introduce an A++ heat pump dryer to the marketplace. And of course, we're not only inventing when it comes to sustainability, we're also first in the market with 8 kilo capacity years ago and with 1800 RPM spinning capacity. And we're currently selling also the most silent washing machines on the market. And of course, here very much we're learning from our very demanding professional consumers. So that's a little bit where we're coming from when it comes to dish and laundry as a company. But really what I wanted to talk about is some of the trends that we're seeing when it comes to washing and dishwashing. First of all, of course, we've talked about, and it's been said many times, that there are a lot of strong trends and both regulatory and consumer demand trends towards further improvement in energy efficiency, whether it comes to temperature of washing or efficiency of the machine itself. At the same time, and maybe somewhat contradictory, there's also a strong trend towards higher capacity machines, and that puts specific challenges on us as an industry, and I'll talk more about that. It's more and more focused on the care of the fabric, meaning not deteriorating the fabric. Of course, water consumption is a major regulatory drive, and also a financial impact on consumers. And all of this is and more leading us towards the concept of auto-dosing, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. I think as a joint industry between detergent manufacturers and equipment manufacturers, we can really pat ourselves on the back in terms of the journey that we've been through here in terms of energy efficiency and water consumption. You can see the fantastic development we've seen in the last 10-15 years in terms of energy and water consumption in washing machines. And I think very importantly, that's not the trend that's slowing down, it's a trend that's accelerating. Here you can see first on the top there, the trend when it comes to energy efficiency of washing machines. This is the first 6 months of 2010, 11, and 12, and the market penetration of different energy efficiency ratings of front-load washing machines. So you can see that the A class, which is already an energy efficient product, is down by 35%, whereas A plus is up 42%, A double plus 122%, and A triple plus over 200%. It's an enormously rapid migration towards high energy efficiency. And that's something that we, of course, are extremely happy about helping to drive. At the same time, as I said, a little bit potentially counterintuitively, there's a big drive towards higher capacity machines. And you can see the numbers there, very significant growth of the higher load capacities. It was mentioned here just a moment ago what a significant importance the wash temperature has. Other than the efficiency of the machine itself, of course, actually the wash temperature has an even higher impact on the energy consumption. I won't read the numbers here, but they're of course extremely significant when you again talk about the number of loads that are washed every day. Now this is of course not a completely unproblematic issue. Of course it saves energy, of course it saves money, but from a consumer perspective, it also leads to longer cycles in general, which is something that consumers are generally not looking for. Of course, the washing performance is something that has to be secured, and I think maybe even more importantly, something that we have to get consumers to trust in, that they can get the performance they're looking for in a lower temperature wash. Of course, there are issues around hygiene. You can't wash everything at 30 degrees, and there are also risks around smell, not so much maybe of the garments, but from the machine, if you don't every now and then run at a high temperature. So there are lots of complications around low temperature washing. And of course, those challenges become even greater as you go below the 30-degree threshold. So this is something that I think we together have to work on to educate, to develop, and then to educate the consumers about. Now, the other factor that I talked about was the increase in higher capacity machines, and it was mentioned here that a lot of machines do run at around half capacity, and that consumes, everything else equal, about 40% more per kilo washed than if the machine would be full. And I think and it's of course the same for more or less for dishwashers. And here I think, yes, we can try to educate the consumer to wash full loads, but it's very hard to impact that type of behavior. So I think the way to go here, at least we feel that way, is more towards sensing, both in terms of weight sensing and dirt sensing, and then adjust, of course, the water and the detergent dosing relative to the amount of laundry washed, and that can be done then in many different ways. But of course, dosing itself is a very complex issue, and something where, again, education and trust is a very important factor when it comes to consumers. Will I get the cleaning result that I'm looking for if I trust somebody else in telling me how much detergent I should use? And of course, if we can do that, it has a very significant positive impact on both the financials or the economy of the consumers, and of course both environmental and resource efficiency. So it's a very, very significant issue, I believe, and especially as the penetration of higher capacity machines is growing, we have to address the issue of dosing both detergent and water relative to the loading of the machines. Yeah, I will be very fast. Look, we're a product company. I can't resist showing some beautiful pictures. This is our Neue Collection. This is our new Electrolux Inspiration range. I think we're extremely proud of our products. And I just wanted to mention a few of our focus areas. So laundry care, of course, flexibility, ease of use, dosing, extremely important, and of course, sustainability. Those are the areas that we're really focusing on as a company. Quickly on dishwashers. Lots of different things, very similar: energy efficiency, water consumption, load sensing, dirt sensing, and speed, flexibility, performance. That's really what consumers are asking for. Similar trends here, very similar in terms of the moves of energy efficiency as well as capacity. More and more, very rapid growth of the very highest levels of energy performance, at the same time as we're seeing significant growth in higher number of place settings. Here we're of course focusing to really meet the needs of the consumers through our products: high energy efficiency, inverter motors, new drying technologies, large capacity, and of course then speed and performance. Those are the absolute desires of consumers, and it's of course a challenge to meet all of those at the same time. But I think that's what we're here to do. Then on to some important conclusions, I think, of what we're seeing happening in the industry, and both from a regulatory and consumer perspective. So there will be continued, there's no question about that, both consumer and regulatory pressure on energy consumption and sustainability. And in fact, we welcome that as a company. I think properly done and properly enforced, meaning creating a level playing field, this is an opportunity for us jointly to create competitive opportunities, to create profit opportunities. But of course, it has to be done in a way that creates a level playing field, that allows everybody to and shuts out, let's say, the free rider syndrome. Now, the problem, of course, is that while that is happening, we are getting equal demands on more capacity, more performance, more speed, more flexibility and of course at a very low cost. We all know that you can buy a washing machine for less than you can buy an iPad today, and it contains a lot more steel and plastics and things like that. When it comes to the weight and dirt sensing and detergent dosing, I think this is a very important topic, and we don't have time today to talk about that in detail. But I think it is something that we need to explore more, need to understand more. There is a pull, but it's unclear how strong it is from consumers, because of course they want to be in control also of the dosing, and they have a lot of experience there. But if we truly want to take advantage of it and take the next step in terms of energy efficiency, water consumption, we probably have to work on auto-dosing. And I think here is really an opportunity for collaboration and cooperation between our different industries, and I think we're truly joined here. So I welcome much deeper cooperation between us, for sure, Electrolux, and the association, and as well as individual representatives of the detergent industry. So thank you very much for allowing me to come here. Much appreciated.